Good morning, student. The topic for today is totipotency and morphogenesis. This is the second topic from our syllabus, theory syllabus. So we are going to learn in today's lecture about what is the major property of all plant cell, that is the totipotency, and how this property is explored in plant tissue culture for various terminologies like morphogenesis, organogenesis. To start with, first with the totipotency meaning. The term totipotency is derived from two words in Latin. The totus means entire and the potent means to be able to or have power. Totipotency is the genetic potential of any plant cell to produce the entire or whole plant. In other words, it is the capacity of higher organisms, cells, to differentiate into entire organism. Generally, totipotent cell contains all the genetic information necessary for complete development. So it is the major property you can found in any kind of plant cell. Now, how this totipotency is expressed in plant tissue culture? The basis of tissue culture is to grow large number of cells in a sterile or controlled environment. The cells are obtained from stem, root or other plant parts which are called as explants, and they are allowed to grow in a culture medium containing nutrient medium, containing the nutrients like inorganic salts, organic salts, vitamins, hormones, which mainly encourage the cell division and growth. As a result, the cells in culture will produce an unorganized proliferative mass which is called as a callus tissue. Now, who first coined the term totipotency? The scientist called as Morgan Th. He was the one who first described the capability of cells to form an individual plant in 1901. The definition given by him is the inherent capacity of dedifferentiation and redifferentiation of plant cells, giving rise to a whole plant. The term is called as cellular totipotency. In a plant, each cell cannot be a totipotent. Why? Because few of the cells can have variations in their chromosome number. Few cells can have or they may lack the appropriate environment while development, and hormone levels are very much necessary for a cell to become a totipotent. So that these are the three reasons why each cell cannot be a totipotent. Now, micropropagation or tissue culture mainly implies the property of all plant cells, that is the totipotency. Now, in this image, you might be seeing a portion of a plant leaf is getting developed into an unorganized mass of cell. The first A image, that is callus. That means a mature plant part is getting converted into an immature cell of mass, which is called as a callus. In the second image, that is the B image, this callus is getting developed into small shoots, and in C part there are roots developed to this callus. And finally, in D image, a plant with small plantlet with root and shoot is being developed. So this is the phenomenon of dedifferentiation and redifferentiation that occurs in plant tissue culture. Why this occurs? Because plant cells have the ability to go into reverse mechanism of development. That means from mature plant part they can develop immature plant part, and from immature they again develop the mature plant parts like shoots and roots. Now, why this totipotency is important? The ultimate objective in plant protoplast, cell and tissue culture is the reconstruction of plants from a totipotent cell. That means to get the many number of plants from starting from a single cell. In vegetative propagation of economical, medicinal and agricultural important crops, tissue culture is very important. If cell is totipotent, production of diploids from haploids can be possible. That's why in breeding, production of double haploid is possible because of totipotency. In recent trends of plant tissue culture, that includes genetic modification of plants, production of homozygous diploid plants through haploid cell culture, somatic hybridization and mutation, all these techniques or all these cultures requires the property of totipotency, and they are there because of the property of totipotency. The success of all these studies depends upon the expression of totipotency. In many cases, successful and exciting results have been obtained. Commercial use of totipotency, how it is being commercially exploited. The success of genetic modification of plants, production of homozygous diploid plants through haploid culture, somatic hybridization, mutation, etc. depends upon the expression of totipotency. Plant breeders, horticulturists and commercial plant growers are now more interested in plant tissue culture only for the exploitation of totipotent cells in culture according to their needs. Totipotent cells within a bit of callus tissue can be cryopreserved for a long period. Thus, for germ plasma conservation of endangered plant species, totipotency can be utilized successfully. So all these are the commercial point of exploitation of property of totipotency. Now, what is differentiation? The term differentiation is used in many different senses in biology. In a broad sense, it is defined as process by which meristematic cells are converted into two or more types of cells, tissues, organs, which are qualitatively different from each other. For example, in this figure, the cells which are present at the tip portion of the plant, they are actually in their early life, they are cell, undifferentiated plant cell. They are just a cell. They have not got the specialized structure and function yet. But in later life phase, they get converted either into leaf cell or transport xylem phloem cell or root cell. So their fate is decided by the process of differentiation. They got differentiated into particular type of cell and they attain the specialized function and structure in that particular tissue. So this process is called as differentiation. So in a plant tissue culture, what happens generally? The adult plant part is taken, that which is called as explant. It is then cultured on a test tube media. So these mature plant part becomes immature or they get converted into meristematic state. That means the state which is the state in which the cells continuously grow in size and they form a new plant part. So generally the mature cells of a explant, they get converted into meristematic state leading to the formation of callus. Generally, it leads to the formation of callus tissue, unorganized mass of proliferative tissue. Okay, so thereafter this callus is get converted into again into shoots and roots and finally into a complete plantlet. So the half of the journey of this process is called as a dedifferentiation. And dedifferentiation, in another sense, it is the next part of a dedifferentiation where component cells of a callus have the ability to form a whole plant. That means from these cells, shoots and roots will arise and the complete plant formation will take place. So this process is called as a redifferentiation. Now, in plants, even highly mature and differentiated cells retain the ability to regenerate to a meristematic state as long as they have an intact membrane system and viable nucleus. That means it is the only property which can be seen in plant cells, not in the animal cells. Highly mature plant parts can be also have the ability to regenerate into a new plantlet. While in animals, we don't have such kind of property where any animal cell, any body cell or somatic cell cannot be grown into a whole plant. Then what is the difference between dedifferentiation and redifferentiation? So dedifferentiation is the first process and redifferentiation is the second process. First, the phenomena of reversion of mature cells to meristematic state leading to the formation of callus is called as dedifferentiation, while the phenomena of development of whole plant or plant organs from competent cells of callus is called as a redifferentiation. Dedifferentiation is always text plus, always the first to takes place, while redifferentiation always occurs after dedifferentiation. Dedifferentiation involves enhanced RNA and protein synthesis leading to the formation of new cellular components needed for meristematic activity. It involves organ formation like shoot bud primordial or root bud primordial or shoot and root bud primordial. Dedifferentiation, this leads to the formation of callus, while redifferentiation leads to the formation of whole plant. Now what is morphogenesis? Morphogenesis again comes from the Greek language, that is morphe means shape and genesis means creation. So it is nothing but literally the generation of form or shape. in a biological process that causes a cell, tissue or organism to develop its shape. In tissue culture also, whenever the callus mass started developing into shoots or roots or morphological shape and structure, the phenomena is called as a morphogenesis. It refers to the formation of morphological structures and organs from a cultured cells. Now, what is organogenesis? In plant tissue culture, the organogenesis means genesis of organs like shoots, roots, leaves, flowers, etc. from cultured cells. The cells which are cultured on a nutrient medium. In organogenesis, the shoot or root may form first depending upon the nature of growth hormones in the basal media. The genesis of shoot and root from explants or calli is termed as caulogenesis if the shoots are developed, rhizogenesis if roots are developed. This is the complete pathway of totipotency. Totipotency it is seen in all plant cells, but the first event takes place in the totipotency pathway is the callus development. After this callus is developed, de-differentiation occurs, in which three pathways are there. Embryogenesis, either the callus cells will form embryo, somatic embryos, embryogenesis on a liquid media supplemented with 2,4-D. Finally, embryoid and a whole plant. The second pathway, organogenesis, will occur, in which auxins and cytokinin combinations were given. If you are giving more of a cytokinin, then caulogenesis will happen. That means cytokinin is added in more quantity, you will get shoots. In a rhizogenesis, auxin is added in more quantity when you get the root development. And caulogenesis, when you add alternate concentration, high and lower concentration of cytokinin and auxin, then you get the roots and shoots simultaneously. In the third pathway, that is histogenesis, where the coconut milk is added in the media, generally the xylem and phloem differentiation occurs in the tissues and your explant develops stem containing xylem and phloem. This process is also called as a cytodifferentiation. So these are the three pathways of totipotency. Now, callus has any development of a plant, it has two phases in tissue culture. One is the direct organogenesis, where you take explant first, then have the meristemoids primordia, and they generally directly from this meristemoid tissue you will get the number of shoots in growing in a culture. So if your explant is directly giving rise to many shoots instead of going into callus phase, then that kind of organogenesis is called as a direct organogenesis. There is no callus interface in between. While in indirect organogenesis, your explant first develops into a callus, undifferentiated mass of cells, and this callus then further goes into the division phase, becomes meristemoid, and then forms the small primordia, shoot primordia. So this is called as an indirect organogenesis. This is again the picture showing that how explant is cultured on a media, then it goes into indirect organogenesis, forms a callus, and then from that callus shoots and roots will be developed. In a direct organogenesis, directly to this explant, you will find that the shoots and roots are developing. So in both pathway, you will finally get a whole plant, which can be regenerated into by further process of tissue culture. Now, cytodifferentiation. In a plant tissue culture, during the growth and maturation of callus tissues, few of the de-differentiated cells undergoes cytoquiescence and cytosenescence, and this is the twin phenomena which is mainly associated with redifferentiation of vascular tissue. Means this is a callus. If we consider this is a mesophyll cell, which is then formed a de-differentiated cell. Few of the callus mass grows into shoots, and few cells will grows into root. But the central part, it goes through two processes: cytosenescence, cytoquiescence. That means the formation of xylem and phloem tissue from the central mass of cells. So these will elongate, and they will finally form a xylem and tracheary elements. These are actually uh, pathways for absorption of nutrients and water from the media. So these cells are very much necessary to be developed into a stem cell, a stem tissue of a developing plant. So this whole development process is called as an cytodifferentiation. This is the pathway of in vitro organogenesis, where we first start with explant. By indirect organogenesis, it develops into callus. Then, once you provide it with the cytokinin, it goes to caulogenesis, shoot formation, then rooting and whole plant. If you go for first rhizogenesis, root formations will occur. There will be no shooting will occur in this case. So in general, whenever you take explant like meristems, shoot apex, generally you go for micropropagation to produce the virus-free plantlets. When you select the stem, leaf, root, or callus as a stem, leaf, root as a explant, generally you go for a majorly you go for an indirect kind of organogenesis. Means you first go for callus phase and then shoot, root, and final plant. The third phase also occurs in callus, that is direct embryogenesis and indirect embryogenesis. Few cells of callus, whenever treated with 2,4-D and abscisic acid, they directly form the embryos to a callus. So that process is called as direct embryogenesis. While in indirect embryogenesis, what happens? Callus first forms shoots, roots, and plantlet. Okay. So this is the pathway of development of whole plant starting from a explant. These are few questions. Cell differentiation in animal is irreversible because the mature cells of plants cannot become immature again, which is possible in plants, while cell differentiation in plants is reversible process. The inherent potentiality of plant cell to give rise to whole plant is described as a totipotency. For a differentiated cells to express its totipotency, it should undergo dedifferentiation followed by redifferentiation. This is a true thing. The phenomena of mature cell reverting to the meristematic state and forming undifferentiated callus tissue is called as a dedifferentiation. So this is all about today's topic, that is totipotency and morphogenesis. Tissue culture came into existence because of this property. These are few basic terminologies that can be asked for short one answer question or fill in the blanks kind of question. So you have to prepare this topic accordingly for preparation of one line answer questions, definitions, and fill in the blank kind of questions. So thank you. This is all about today's lecture. Thank you very much.